Okay, here we go. Video number 3. This is straight cut or fabric fodder flowers, as I call them. Here's some examples of ones. The materials that from the video I used yesterday. Here's some of those. Just different materials that I came. Those came from that t-shirt I cut up yesterday. These are from other materials that I had. That was from one of those, you know, the rugs that you get the strips of materials in. That was from those. I believe that one was from material there too. These right here was a combination from these two. These two came from an old baby seat cover that was bad. Those from an outfit. And the baby seat cover there. This was another garment, lace garment that I had uncovered. Those are coming from those. That's coming from another lace garment, but that was the underlaying of it. Another lace garment. Those are those seams I was telling you about, and I used them as the outside edge, and it gave a little rim to the flower. Little piece of cotton, using an old piece of curtain with a scrap of cotton overlay, because you can lay two pieces together, and that was a piece of the lace, the seam. Just sort of rosebud-licious, but that was just some examples. So let me show you how to do these. Let me throw all these over here out of the way. These are the strips from the leftovers that we had yesterday. All you need is a sharp needle, and when I say a sharp needle, one that has a point on it so you can go through, not one that is dull. That's dull. It doesn't have a sharp point on it. It's just there. That one doesn't, and it doesn't work as well if you get certain materials. I'm using contrasting thread so you can see it, and that really doesn't matter to me because I tuck it in back behind and cover it up so I can use whatever color thread I want. But if you're not comfortable with that, then use matching thread. So you just take your long piece of thread. As long as you're able to work with it and not get it tangled, that's how your length goes. That's how I end up doing it. Just tie your rough knot there on the end. Doesn't have to be straight. You can trim it later if need be. So here's some of the pieces. This is what I call fabric fodder, meaning it's just cutoffs that are very ununiform in shape, and you can get different designs from it. So I'm just going to pick one right here. It'll be a smaller type one. I like these pieces that have the little edges, sort of turn those down and sew on it, and that gives you a double layer flower. I didn't know if I pulled out one of those or not. I might not have. But it's just, you're going to do a basic running stitch. Just take your needle in, up, in, out, in, out. You don't have to have even stitches. Just try to keep it on the edge of your material there. Using your fabric fodder, I just pull it and keep it tight. So I've got that really tight in there. Using the fabric fodder makes really cute, shabby chic type flowers, you know, that are different shapes, just sort of depending upon the material you use. If you are one that likes everything uniform, there is a way to get uniform sizes from this fabric fodder, or you can cut strips that are even. This is what I like to do, and I suggest this just because it makes it easier. Pull it tight, and yes, it will curl up. See how it's curling up there? And then tie it off. Don't cut it. And that's going to hold it just in case. Okay, so then I've got that. That's secure. That's not going to come open. Then I lay it out. The side that's got your string still attached. Come over here where your knot was. If you want to trim that excess off now, you can. I usually don't, but I will so it doesn't get in the way. Then come back down right next to where that beginning part is. Just go straight down. See, now I'm connecting the two pieces. Make sure that your thread's passed out of the way of your needle. and then just pull it. And it is going to pull it into the center. Now this one's not going to be a perfectly round flower. It's going to be a little misshapen, which I like those personally. So that's why it does not bother me. We'll do some others that'll be more uniform, and I'll show you how to even them up even after this. I just tie one knot, that's it. Come in, and I just snip it off. Then you take your flower. Now that's a little big for me. I don't want it that big. Then what you can come in and just, after the fact, trim it off. Trim that excess pieces off after you've done it, and then you've got a smaller type flower. And that leaves me with another little piece that I'm going to put over here. I got a pile for these that can be used for clusters or slow stitching. This one is a little bit, doesn't have the big long that. So let me do this one real quick. Tie another knot in the end. See, I'm just keeping the same thread. That's why I said as long as you can work with it at the whatever length, it just goes quicker this way. This another one's got a seam. So I'm going to turn it this way and use it the seam, so I have like a double layer. I have like an inside, sort of like the little stamens of a flower. And just up and down, running stitch. Running stitch. No rhyme or reason to the length. You just want it. You don't want them too long, but you don't want them too short because it takes too long. It's gathering it up for you. Similar to the way when you make yo-yos, which we will be doing a thing on making yo-yos too. A quick and easy way to do those. But going through, watching this in double time, it makes it easier, but I'm not going to fast forward because so many people, to me, this is not taking that long to do one. I can do them rather quickly. And this is just all from junk scrap material. You know, from the video I showed yesterday, how to take a garment and get this material. Bigger pieces you can use for other stuff. This leftover or fabric fodder, as I call it. Yeah, I'm repeating myself just so you get the terminology there. So if you ever hear me say it again in something, you understand. Okay. Take it. You gotta even it out. Now, get it all turned or to be twisted. If you hook these two edges together with it twisted, then you're gonna have a twisted flower and it won't turn out right. I'm going in right there. Coming out. And I just pull together. And if you, when you do that, it hides that. Even though it's that black thread, it pretty much hides it. Tie off my knot. Yeah, I'm always go too far back on my finger. Snip that off. And there we go. And I'm not cutting that one down. I like that one. I like having the bigger on that part and the smaller. If I wanted it all smaller, I could trim it out and just have a round one. If I decide when I pick that up to use it, I can change it then. And it's that quick and easy. Look, that quick. I've got 2 of them done. Okay. Now, I did want to show this one is how I use that edge. I sewed on this side and got that going around. Did I put the other one? Nope. I don't think I pulled the other one I made. I did one where I did reverse that on the inside. But you can do it either way. But let me get to this. This is way too long for one flower. Don't cut it ahead of time. There's no reason for that. Yeah, I've got a little curve here a little bit, but that's okay. If you wanted to have just straight uniform, that it comes out uniform, then cut your strip even. But I'm going to show you how I do it without cutting it ahead of time from a big piece of material or big strip. You don't have to pre-cut your sizes, because when you're pulling it through after doing this running stitch, you're going to see when you're ready to tie it off. You might want a big, huge, fluffy flower, and you'll go longer. All right. So this is what you do with the big long strips. Just go through, keep going. They go really, really quick. And for those of you who say, I can't do this because I got bad arthritis, I got this. I've got horrible arthritis in my hands. But the way it goes, like right now, this hand, I've got some pain, but overall, that's why I don't have to use a thimble too. I can't feel it. I don't have any nerves. So see, I'm looking, if I pull that up, I want to go a little bit farther because I want a fuller one. So you'll know whatever size flower you want. You can do this if you've got arthritis. No, I have not tried using a loose stitch on a sewing machine because I'll be honest with you, I can hand stitch it faster than I could use a sewing machine. Might get to one of these days. Won't be able to, but for right now I can. I'll pull that tight. Tie my knot. I'm going to cut that off. Well, no, I'm not going to cut that off. Duh. Look, I almost messed up, guys. But I can still, even if I cut it, all I got to do is go back. But now that extra piece that's on there, because I'm through with that, just cut that off. And throw that back in your pile to use. So you don't have to cut to length. You can just go to whatever you want. One tight. Tie it off. Snip it, and there's my flower. Now, that one, I want to show you. I want this one more the same, so I'm just going to go through and trim it. Make it even. So if you don't want to cut your strips even before you start, you don't have to. You can do it after the fact. Not perfect. I'll finish that up later. But there you go. And depending on what side you want to use, then you can add your bling or whatever in the center or whatnot that you want. I technically could take that little one and make a teeny tiny one. I might try it just for the principle of it. Not in this video, but later on. Okay. Now, that little piece I threw over here a while ago, it was real small. Now, of course, you can't find it when you need it. But one thing that you can think about. Let's say I had a piece and I start working with it and that one's not long enough for me. Show you real quick. Won't take me long. I forgot to tie my knot, so as long as I remember before I pull it, I'm good. Okay, I'll pull that down somewhat. Now let me tie my knot on there. Okay, I did want to show you this. So when I pull this, that would make a neat little fan one, but it's not going to be big enough to hook together. Don't fret over that. If you've got little pieces and they're not long enough for you, trying to find another one, then just start a piece. I've got that started, and just pick up another piece and add to it. It will work out just fine and your flower will turn out just fine. So if you just have little short pieces, it will work. Just keep adding more of them on there. Let me show you. Because when you pull it, I don't want to tie it yet. When you pull it, they're going to look. They will look as if they're connected, and it won't be any big deal. Now, hold on. That's one thing without the knot being tied, you can't make it tight. Makes it harder to, there we go, twist it. With multiple pieces, it is, got to make sure that they're not twisted for sure. when you connect them. Okay. But even though these were 2 pieces, I turn them so they're the same direction. So when I hook them together, it's going to look. Of course, I'll have to trim that one because that piece is really long. But it's going to look just like the flower that it is. But there we go. That is the flower fodder or straight cut flowers. Pretty much going to give you some uniform of a circle. That's the shape that you're going to get with doing those. Stay tuned, because tomorrow we're going to hit a different cut that's going to give you a different shaped flower. Catch you later.